There I am.
עם ישראל, לא לפחד, השם אלוקיך הולך איתך. עם ישראל, לא מפחד, השם אלוקינו השם אחד. הוא גשר צר, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל, ומלמעלה הוא שומר, צר ואויב לא יתקרב, אך לאט.
So I'm still figuring out that part, how to make the transition all smooth and stuff, but hello again. And almost Shabbat Shalom. Hang on. Oh, okay, I remember that. Now, so today, I'm actually going to be talking about Shabbat. And a little bit about, like, the myths and legends and why a lot of people think that we're not supposed to keep it, and that sort of thing. So let me rename this a bit. Just like that. I think that should save it. Yes. So, first of all, I've been keeping the Saturday Shabbat for a while now, since I was 12. In fact, I remember an argument I had with my mom one time, where she wanted me to clean the litter box. And it was Friday evening, and it went something along the lines of this. Xeily, I've told you for 4 days now that the litter box needs to be cleaned. And I'm like, but Mom, it's Shabbat. She's like, I don't care. It's caked on the bottom. And then I said, how am I even supposed to clean that? And she said, use your nails. So I said, show me. And she did. She showed me how to use my nails for that one. And, either way, that's just to illustrate. Even back then, I was trying to keep it as best I could, even when it was directly against what I was being told to do. Well, one of the things that I would say is, or she would say, is do it because I told you to. And then I'd say, Mom, am I supposed to listen to you or God? And so, and that's actually one of the arguments I'm going to be making right now, too, why we should keep the Shabbat. So let's begin. First of all, I want to establish that the Shabbat is actually very important. It's a sign between us and God that we're His people, essentially. And one place we see this is Exodus 31:13, where if I had that up, I would be able to read it. Okay. I should be a little more prepared, shouldn't I? It says, speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep. For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord that does sanctify you. So, the Sabbath is a sign that speaks of our sanctification. Well, there you go. That's one of the many reasons why we keep it. And why it's so important is because, yeah, it's important to God, and it sanctifies us. And it's a sign. Also, if you don't keep it, in the law, it says that you're going to be cut off from your people, or or / put to death. So it's pretty, it's weighty. It's an important law that we have to keep, that we should keep, and that we have to as well. So there are some laws, of course. So the New Testament, a lot of times people say that the New Testament makes it seem like all sins are the same, but I wouldn't say that. All sin does lead to death, but certain sins have higher value and higher amounts of punishment. For instance, in the Old Testament, stealing, if you committed thievery, you'd have to pay back 4 times ish. I mean, depends on the specific law that you're referring to, but ish, what you stole. And similar laws with if you just lose something that you're borrowing and that sort of thing. They're treated very similarly. However, if you are committing one of the worst ones, like sexual immorality or breaking the Sabbath, and many other ones like that, idolatry is another one, you could be put to death. There's actually the capital punishment for breaking the Sabbath. And that's, that just, it should make you think, really. And another thing that goes along with that law, with that punishment, the capital punishment, is that you're to be cut off from your people. And so that means multiple things. In all of my research, the vast amount of it, being cut off from your people, especially using the principle of first mention, means being put to death, but it also means being cut off from the covenant of your people. And that has spiritual implications that I'm not going to get into right now, partly because I don't completely understand them, and I need to do more research about that. But moving on. So, it's important to God that we keep it. Even Jesus says that the Sabbath was made for us. It's almost like his gift, and, we should just keep it. So why is it important to us? Well, I already mentioned the Exodus 31:13 one. It says that the Sabbath is one of the signs that we are sanctified. Another place we see that is in Ezekiel 44:24, and I will go to that one right in 1 second. And hopefully my face is amusing enough for you because I'm looking for it. Yes, right there. So it says, and in controversy they shall stand in judgment, talking about the priests, a little bit of background. And they shall judge it according to my judgments, and they shall keep my laws and my statutes in all mine assemblies, and they shall hallow my Sabbaths. Wait, that's the wrong one. It's the Isaiah one. Either way, that's another one. Just talking about why we should keep it. It's Ezekiel 20. It's Ezekiel 24 one. I have notes. 2012. Let's go to that one. Yes. Sorry, Ezekiel 20:12. Moreover, also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctifies them. Again, this is talking about the sanctification of us. It's how we know that he is our God, and essentially it's what makes us holy, set apart, so everyone else knows that he is our God as well, which is a very important issue. I know the New Testament constantly talks about holiness and being in the world but not of it. That's referencing holiness. And the Sabbath is one of those things that makes us holy. And finally, what is it all about? Well, I already mentioned that Jesus said that the Sabbath is made for us. It says man is not made for the Sabbath, but the Sabbath is made for man. Essentially, this was talking to the Pharisees, who were trying to make a lot of just cumbersome rules to put on us that really made the resting part of Sabbath a laborious task. So Jesus was like, that's not right. It's you have it backwards there. Really, we're supposed to rest on the Sabbath, and if you think about it, every time that the Jews were put into, or Israelites the Jews were put into places where they had places of servitude, like in Egypt, like in Babylon and Syria. They weren't given the luxury of resting one day a week. They were put to work all the days of the week, as a general rule. However, God says you're to rest. And this is all for all mankind, really, because he gave it to us after the creation of Adam. But then, I don't think the Noahide laws really mention Sabbath. But, being able to rest from our work is for everyone. And that's another reason why it's important to us. Again, it's a free gift from God. So, essentially, it's about rest. It's about just having the day set apart from others. Really, God wants to have a special day set aside for us. And yeah, we can have any day with God, really, kind of in a way. But that's His day for us. That's the day that He set aside specifically so that He can rest and we can enter into that rest together. And there are places in the Bible, I forgot the exact verse, where it talks about entering into that rest with God. And it says, if you're to enter into rest with God, then you should also enter into His rest that He has ordained for us, which is the Sabbath. And that's another thing. So it's about a holy appointment with God, and it's about setting that day apart. And so, it should be pretty important to us. Let's see, how are we doing on time? Oh, 11 minutes so far. Hey. How about we debunk a couple myths here. First of all, there's sort of this idea that, let's see, the Sabbath is for the Jews only. Like, we're not grafted in, or something like that. Very silly. But one way we can debunk this is Isaiah 56 something. The whole of 56, I guess. Let's go there. Okay. I was just informed by my assistant that it's Isaiah 56, 1 through 7. So, we'll read all of that really quickly. Thus saith the Lord, keep ye judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness is to be revealed. Blessed is the man that doeth this, and the son of man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of a stranger that hath joined himself to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus saith the Lord unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant. Even unto them will I give in mine house, and within my walls a place and a name better than of sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Also the son of a stranger that join themselves to the Lord, to serve him, and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, every one that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant, even them will I bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altars, for mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all peoples. So, it's not just for the Jews. We are the strangers. Well, you are the strangers. I have a little bit of Jewish blood, so. When you join yourself to God, you're still supposed to keep the Sabbaths, and it's not just a Jewish thing. Basically is what that's saying. And then I already discussed Ezekiel 20:12, and then Exodus 28. Let's go to Exodus 28. So that's basically just talking about the fourth commandment. It says, to keep the Sabbath, no one is to do work anywhere within your gate, including the stranger that is within your gates. And so that's that's pretty clear to me. I mean, whether you're a stranger or you're a Jew, Gentile, Jew, Israelite, native-born, convert, you're supposed to keep the Sabbath. And that's riddled throughout the Bible. There's no place in the Bible that says we should not keep the Sabbath, ultimately. And then another one that says, another objection is, what, maybe we might do that later. 15 minutes. So I'm trying to cut these videos down to like 10 minutes. And I'm doing a pretty bad job at that. So I think I will shut it off right about here. And I will say TGIS, which means thank God it's Shabbat. And I'm still trying to coin that term. So if you're around your friends and it's Shabbat, you should say TGIS. If you have a long day at work, say TGIS. And of course it's Shabbat, you know, that sort of thing. It'll be fun. So, oh, I forgot one of my screens. This screen. Oh, maybe next video. Basically, I was going to say, look at all the verses that talk about God's Shabbat in the Bible. There are 116 verses, 137 times it's mentioned. It's pretty important to God. So keep it. And now for more fun songs.
לא לפחד, השם אלוקיך הולך איתך. עם ישראל לא מפחד, השם אלוקינו השם אחד. גשר צר, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל,